What's up, y'all? Welcome to the live stream. I'm a little behind. I was supposed to be an hour early at the most. Um, but today we're going to be talking about how the system wants you. It wants you. And when I say it wants you, it wants you. And the people on that side will do whatever it takes to get you. They will. Even if that means hiring you to work with them. But welcome in, y'all. We're going to get started in a second because we have some things that we need to discuss this evening. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about the system and how it wants you. So, I want y'all to, as you enter in the live stream, let's engage. Let's stay on topic. Give me your thoughts. Let's be respectful. And let me know if you can hear me too. Put a 1 if you can hear me. Yep. Be respectful or you will be removed from the stream. Yep. Let's get the likes up. As y'all coming in, make sure y'all just engaging, staying engaged, staying on topic. Any off-topic comments will be blocked and removed. Any disrespectful, inappropriate comments will be blocked and removed as well. Today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people are in denial about, or a lot of people may not even know about because they never took the time out to really figure out what's on the back of that dollar bill. The eye of providence. You know, the triangle with the eye in the middle on the back of the dollar bill. Yep. This is all a part of the system. All the system. It's the system. You know, the all-seeing eye is a very demonic sign. And they blatantly have it. This is exactly why money is supposed to be used as a tool, and people are not supposed to fall in love with money at all. You know, a lot of people have sold their souls to the system without even knowing. Because when you are so desperate for something that has the all-seeing eye on the back of it, what do that tell you? What's up, Sleepy Bro? How you doing? Welcome back. Glad you caught the live yet again. We back at it again. So the name of that on the back of the dollar bill is the Eye of Providence. For the people that don't understand what that is and they don't know what that is, let's do a little research. And then after I tell you what it is, we're going to look at some videos to show y'all how deep the rabbit hole goes. To show y'all how deep the rabbit hole goes, how desperate people will become for something that is a Masonic sign. So the Eye of Providence is a symbol depicting a single human eye enclosed in a triangle, often surrounded by rays of light or clouds. It represents divine providence or God watching over humanity, with the eye symbolizing omniscience and the triangle of 10 representing the Holy Trinity. While often associated with religion and Freemasonry, its use is widespread in various contexts, including government seals like the Great Seal of the United States and even the secular institutions. Now, first and foremost, I'm not sure if, before I get started on that, if y'all hit the like button, but it's showing 0 likes. But if you're interested in this live stream, make sure you hit the like button though. First and foremost, we all know that these people that are, that are high up in the system, the elites, we know that they're no Christians. We know that they do not love the Most High God. We know that. Okay? We know that a lot of them are Freemasons. A lot of them. So what does that tell you? Evidently, the Eye of Providence is that. They look at the dollar bill as their God. That is their God. That is what they worship, who they worship. It symbolizes their higher power. So the fact that there's people out here that is willing to do anything, they're willing to work and be a part of a evil, wicked system. And we talking about all systems today. They are willing to look at these ninjas out here fighting and killing each other over money. Look at people breaking into stores and stuff like that over money. You got to think about the things that people will do for the love of money. But for real though, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And the love that you have for the money is the root of all evil. Money is evil. But what makes the money evil is the person who has possession over it. To be honest, people will do anything for $1. And they will go as far as to selling people off, selling people's information. They will kill and harm one another over this like this. The money makes you. And it only makes you because you allow it to. You said the excessive desire for wealth can tempt people into harmful actions and lead them to stray from their faith and pursue destructive paths. Exactly. Exactly. Think about it. It's a lot of YouTubers on here too, you know, that has sold their souls to be YouTubers, content creators, and they ain't even have to do that. See, the thing is, they started to fall so deep in love with the money behind this, to the point where they lost their passion for doing what they came on YouTube to do in the first place. That's why you got some of these content creators that you follow that you unfollow. Why do you unfollow them? It is because sometimes they start falling off, and they start falling off mentally when that money hit. When those subscribers go up and those views go up and those watch time hours goes up, the money goes up. And then they start changing because now they want to show off their new car, their new watch, their new jewelry, their new house. They need the whole entire world. They need the whole YouTube platform to see how great they are doing. Now they in competition with other YouTubers. And you see what the money does though? That's what it does. People become the system. You know, the money is deeply rooted into the system, but the people are what makes the system. The system didn't make itself. The people made the system. The people that made the system were evil. So now what do you think happens when you get a bunch of people that you hiring, or that wants to, you know, work for the system so badly because they believe that they have a passion for their jobs? But then they start getting way too comfortable, and they start abusing their power, and they start loving the money at the same time, because now it becomes an easy job to them at this point. Oh, my job is just so easy. I know. Because the more that the money comes, the more easier it is for you. But what you don't understand is you have sold your soul for the money. A lot of reasons why you have a lot of people that sit in these seats, like judges, politicians, hell, the US president. You know, in order to get in that seat, they sold themselves, their souls to the system. Because see, the system is demonic. The system is evil. And if you notice how all of majority of the politicians that actually does do their job for the people, that actually does have a passion, that actually do love to help in any kind of way there is, notice how they are stripped of their powers, jailed, or killed. Because they are not built to work for this evil, demonic, satanic system. They need people that can ruin your lives. They need those type of people. They need people that can act like they're helping you, but the whole time they really keeping you under control. For instance, government assistance. You believe that these people are helping you because it is an assistance, which it is, and it's supposed to be used as a tool. But when you become so deeply tied to government assistance, to the point where you start using and abusing the hell out the system, you begin to grow to love the system. That's why there's people out here that's been on government assistance for 20 years. Because they have grown to love the system. People that's been on food stamps and all of that. I know somebody that has actually been on Social Security for over 30 years. Over 30 years. And honestly, she's doing perfectly fine. She doesn't have any disability or anything. I can tell you what she does need. She needs God. But people, you know what I'm saying? They use and they abuse the system because they grew a love for the system. This is the eye of providence. This is their God that they believe is so powerful, the money that they believe is so powerful, it has controlled masses of people across the world. Look at people in a way that they think when it comes down to money. They will do anything to have $1 in their pocket. Anything. Even if that means becoming slaves to an evil satanic system. And half the time, people out here, they know this, but yet and still they ignore it. I just can never get past the fact that the back of the dollar bill has an all-seeing eye on it. How they are blatantly letting you know who they worship and what they worship. And so when you sign up to work on that side, you better do God's work. That's all I'm going to say. You better do God's work when you sign up to work on that side. But right now, I'm dealing with the system, CPS that is, and have been dealing with the system for over 6.5 years, right? Now, I have watched good people come and go, like the good people that wants to get my case closed out and help me get my case closed out. I have watched them get fired for the good things that they do. I have watched them get harassed by other coworkers, by their supervisors. I have watched this with my own 2 eyes. And they do what they have to do. These people that work in a system, they have to do whatever it takes to keep the money rolling in. They cannot allow for a case to close, because if a case closes, that means no money for them. So they're willing to ruin families along the way. They're willing to pull good people away from the families. The good people that tries to help the families, they disregard all of their information, all of that. You said they hire folks who already hate their own life, like they don't mind making your life a living hell for about 100,000. Exactly. See, I'm gonna tell y'all what the real thing is. Obviously, we know the eye of providence is demonic, and I'll tell y'all about my dream that I had a few years back in 2022, about the eye of providence, and it was a random dream, that I had. But I'm gonna tell y'all about that in a minute. We all know now that the eye of providence is very evil, right? If there is people that is willing to do whatever it takes to have money, who will crash out over money, who will ruin someone else's life over money, then they know that their God is very powerful. Right? Their God is the money. That's their God. So it's easier for the devil to hire and assign his minions. You know what I'm saying? It's more easier for him to do that because he can look at you and tell that you are more like him, demonic. So now he says, okay, you're hired, job, you got the job. Now they're happy, they're excited, they're telling their family, they are pretending that they have a passion for this job, but they really don't. They just need the money. So they are willing to do whatever it takes to keep the money rolling in, even if that means ruining a family or 5. Yeah. ruining a family, or 16. They, like I told y'all the other day, they do not care about us. The system does not care about us. That's why I don't understand why people still be out here marching and protesting. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about them. They don't care about it, but they care about the money. They care about being able to keep their bills paid and go on vacation and give their family money. That's all they care about. You know, the people that work in the system are a majority of them that is not doing God's work is actually a bunch of narcissistic, evil, demonic, satanic, insecure, zombie bot demons. And that's the real truth. They are a bunch of desperate, money hungry, educated fools. You know, that will do anything for money. And let me tell y'all the biggest thing. Let me tell y'all the biggest problem. The biggest problem is, like I said, they will do anything for money. So the eye of providence is the devil. So the devil says, you know what? There you go. I gave you a seat to be a judge, since that's what you wanted to be. In order to keep your seat, you know you cannot do the right thing. You got to do bad things in order to keep the money rolling in. When you do bad things, they don't harass you. They actually love your work because you're corrupt. So they give you bonuses. They give you more money. And the people that's helping you, they get more money as well. When you do good things, you get harassed. You know, now you about to lose your seat because they don't want you to investigate. They don't want you to see where the real problem is coming from. They don't want you to tell the people that they are wrong, because the system consists of a bunch of narcissistic demons. Yeah. So when you do the right thing, you already know what comes with doing the right thing. You know, you don't just get off that easy. You know, there's people that in your job that hates you because you're a good person, because you're doing the right thing. So they would do anything there is to get you out of there. They would, slander your name, lie on you, lie to the boss, reduce your hours, cut your checks when you do the right thing. And see, these people that work in the system know that. So they know, if you know that if I get this case closed out and his family back together, it's gonna, no, I can't do that, because I need to be able to pay my bills. And I need that bonus. I need that. I need that extra 500,000. I need that. That'll help me keep my mortgage paid. It'll help me, man. Look, I don't know this family. I don't care about them. Forget their feelings. Actually, what did y'all say? They are bad people. They did this, that, and the third. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna keep that narrative going because I need to keep these coins rolling in. This is just this family right here alone. This family is like, a good million. Real talk. They got so much money in the system. The bonuses is diabolical. The bonuses that they get to remain evil and keep their seats is crazy work. I'm telling you. So when you cry and boo-hoo about your bank account being empty, know who and what you crying and boo-hooing about. The eye of providence. Know that. Know that that is their God, not yours, right? Because a lot of y'all, y'all swear that, y'all worship the Most High God, Jesus Christ, but y'all don't. Just because you go to church every Sunday doesn't mean anything. A lot of these pastors are pulpit Freemasonry, Freemason pimps, pulpit Freemason pimps. A lot of these pastors, they made a pact with the devil because their higher power, their God, is the all-seeing eye. A lot of these schools, their God is the all-seeing eye. You got to think about it, man. We live in a very demonic world. Very demonic. And the only way for you to beat this type of system, and I'm talking, what, all of these systems, the only way for you to beat these systems is if you put on the whole armor of God. Yeah. See, you have to be able to mentally understand what's really going on. As you start to see what's really going on, then you take a step back and you like, hold on, wait a minute. The system is the matrix. You say I heard they was getting thousands of a week. Pulpit players, exactly. So know that when you crying, what you crying over. When I was homeless, I had started to realize that because I started to learn about the Eye of Providence, on the back of and I'm telling you, when I started learning that, it just woke me completely up. And I said, wow, so you mean to tell me I'm sitting up here crying and boo-hooing over the devil because I want the devil? That money is the devil. Especially if you begin to love it. Because once you begin to love it, you begin to worship it. That starts to be your God. And we got a jealous God. You're not about to serve two masters. And when y'all crying and boo-hooing over not having no money, over not getting no more checks from working or whatever the case may be, over getting laid off, know what you're crying over. Because see, money is supposed to be a tool. It's not supposed to be there for you to fall in love with it. It's not. So now we're gonna go to some videos because I want to show y'all. Okay. I'm trying to see what's going on. Oh, okay. So we about to react to a few videos, and I'm gonna show y'all. We're gonna start off by going to, give me a second, y'all. Bear with me. You know what? Okay, I thought I had it on here. Did I put it on here? Bear with me, guys, because I know some of y'all can be impatient. Some of y'all can be impatient. So I gotta pull up the video Yeah, money is a tool, not a commitment. I remember when I used to be on Facebook and people used to say, "Yeah, I'm in love with the money. I ain't in love with nobody. I'm in love with the money." And I used to look at that and say, how can you be in love with something that is supposed to be used as a tool? How? You know, see, people have been mentally ill a long time ago and people don't even realize it. They feel like they're normal people. There is no way that you're normal if you believe that as a man, you can express yourself by dressing up as a woman and putting on lipstick and painting your nails and stuff like that and coming outside. There is no way that you're normal. But see, the thing is, society normalizes that. And I'm gonna tell y'all why a lot of these people in this system are so miserable. It is because, like I said, they sold their souls to the devil for money and for that seat that they in. And so now, since the devil gave them everything that they wanted, it is time to pay back the devil because now you're in debt. So the only way to pay him back is to do evil deeds while working in the system. And then it gets miserable, it gets tiring because you really don't want to do that, but you need the money. And you know it's bad. You know you don't want to do that, but you need the money. And a lot of people, they would rather do bad and get money than do good. And, people assume that they're bad. They're too worried what people will say about them if they decide to do the right thing, you know? So that's what the issue is. This is why some of us have to deal with, evil caseworkers, judges, um, you know, police officers, firefighters. Because see, the thing is, when they do the wrong thing, they get paid under the table, they get bonuses, all type of stuff. When you sign up to do something that you wanted to do, you got to know that the rabbit hole goes deep in these jobs that y'all work that is a part of the system. It is a part of Satan himself. So don't be discouraged when you get laid off from your job. I know a lot of people are, but you got to know that you got to understand that the money was also the issue. The money was the issue because think about it. Now that you laid off, some of y'all may be laid off with no pay. And y'all can't stop thinking about the money. You're not thinking about the money. You're not thinking about the money. You're thinking about the eye of providence. Some of y'all can't stop thinking about how y'all bills gonna get paid. You just gotta pray at this point. A lot of people have refused prayer. A lot of people have. And the reason why they refuse prayer is because they feel like they're too busy to pray. That's the thing. Satanic employment. And the devil is supposed to keep you busy and he's supposed to keep you working and he's supposed to steer you away from God. And that is what he's doing. And he's doing a great job at it. Because people always making excuses as to why they didn't pray. Oh man, I've been busy. I have been slacking though. I'm going to get back to it. But they never do. Their concern and their worry is the money. They got enough time to text whoever in their phone. They got enough time to go use the bathroom. They got enough time to do everything that takes under 10 minutes. or 5 minutes, but they can't pray. They can't, because the devil keeps your mind busy. He keeps your mind wandering, and he keeps your man on the money. That's the thing. So we gonna pull up this video. And I think I had played this video a few days ago. Let me see. Yeah, I think I played this video a few days ago. We're just gonna play a little bit of it. And I'm probably gonna play, yeah, I'm gonna play like 10 minutes of this video. And then we are going to go to the next one. I'm trying to start chopping down the time as much as I can so I won't overdo the live stream and stuff, because sometimes my cutoff time I go over it, but it's cool because this is what I have a desire to do. Talk about the system. Talk about how evil and corrupt they are. Talk about the people that works within the system, because the people are what makes the system. And when people are evil, the system is evil. So now we have a very demonic system. And the system wants you, because the devil, he needs to recruit people. He needs to recruit people. He does it doesn't matter. He doesn't discriminate. As long as he know that you have a weak spot for money. If you got a weak spot for money, you an easy target. Yeah. Let's go. So now the name of this video that I'm about to play is The Ambitious Lazy One Who Threatens the Whole System. The ambitious lazy one who threatens the whole system. See, let me tell y'all something. One of the main reasons why a lot of these cases stay open, like criminal cases and, cases that come into child protective services and child support cases and all of that, a lot of reasons why those cases stay open is because of the money. Okay? It's because of the money. It's because they need money. They have a debt to pay back to the devil. So it doesn't matter if they ruin your life or the next person's life or your family. They will do whatever it is to keep the money flowing in. So in order to keep the money flowing in, like I told y'all, they have to do evil things. And they have to continue to paint a narrative about you, something that's not true. They will go as far as to talking to other people to get other people to believe that you are a very bad person. And they just need you to fit their evil, satanic, disgusting stereotypes. So with black people, they say the black man is angry. He's an angry black man. He's lazy. He needs to go get a job. They say the same thing about the black woman. Lazy, angry, need to get a job. But this so-called angry black woman right here is considered angry or whatever the case may be. I'm putting on the facade for the cameras and, all of that. And did I mention I'm lazy? Right? Yeah, see, they need you to fit their stereotypes. But the whole entire time, what it really is the fact that I am a threat to the system. Myself and my husband, we are threats because we opened our eyes and we can see clearly now that the rain is gone. You know what I'm saying? See, we know that the rabbit hole runs deep. See, y'all forgot my husband actually was born and raised in the system. Y'all forgot. He has experiences as a child. So he was able to tell me his experiences. I'm able to see my children's experiences being a part of this evil, wicked system. Yeah. So the fact that we know that the rabbit hole runs deep and we see things with our own two eyes, we are lazy and a threat to the whole entire system. Yeah. So anyway, shout out to Psychotic. Let's go ahead and get this video playing.
You've been lied to since you were a child. They told you that if you didn't work hard, if you didn't get up earlier than everyone else, if you didn't accumulate visible achievements, you would fail. They told you that the only way to be someone in life was to sacrifice yourself relentlessly, chasing a clock that never stops. And you believed it. You believed that the guilt of not always doing more was your natural punishment. That if you stopped for even a second, you were falling behind. But there's something in that story that never quite adds up. Because if it were true, if the value of a person really were measured by how much they exhaust themselves, then the most tired people would be the most admired. And they're not. On the contrary, the ones who seem to have it all.
Are you worried that using your home address for business puts your privacy at risk? At iPostal One, we can help. So,
All are the ones who sweat the least in public view. Have you never wondered why? Take a calm look at the people around you. There are those who kill themselves in endless work days, always busy, always rushing, always needing to prove they're doing something. And then there are those others, the ones who seem to float outside the current, the ones who don't run, who don't need to justify every minute of their time. At first glance, they seem distracted, even lazy, but there's something in their presence that unsettles you. Something that makes you uncomfortable, even if you can't explain it. As if they had access to a truth that slips away from you. The system doesn't warn you about them. It prefers to point at the lazy as examples of what not to be. It prefers to scare you with the idea of mediocrity, to make you believe that resting equals surrender. Meanwhile, those who appear unproductive walk calmly, as if playing a different game, as if what truly matters is happening on another plane, one that almost no one dares to look at. And that's where the real mystery begins. Because maybe those people who don't follow the pace aren't wasting time at all. Maybe they're cultivating something that you, in all your rushing, will never see. Something that isn't measured in to-do lists, overtime hours, or sacrifices. Something born in silence. And when it emerges, it changes everything. The question you should be asking isn't whether you're working hard enough. The real question is far more unsettling. What if true strength isn't in the rush, but in what happens when it seems like you're doing nothing? What if what they fear most isn't your effort, but your silence? Think about this. We live in an era obsessed with noise. The noise of notifications, the noise of deadlines, the noise of constant productivity. Everyone seems to be shouting that they're busy, that they're working, that they don't have a second to spare. And yet, in the middle of that uproar, the ones who truly pull the strings are those who remain silent, the ones who don't need to prove anything, the ones who let the unconscious speak while everyone else drowns in a sea of meaningless tasks. What's unsettling is that this silence isn't empty. That silence is an incubator. Jung said the unconscious is like a dark ocean that never rests. While the conscious mind tires, the unconscious keeps weaving symbols, Images and solutions the rational mind could never reach. And here's the secret the system fears. Only those who dare to stop can hear that ocean. Only those who refuse to be dragged by external urgency can receive what arises from the depths. Modern society wants you to believe that creativity can be forced, that innovation comes from working harder than anyone else. But look at history. The discoveries that changed everything didn't come from endless visible effort. They were born in moments of disconnection, of dreams, of unexpected pauses.
1 second.
Newton wasn't locked in an office obsessing over results when the apple fell. Archimedes didn't solve his problem at a desk buried under papers. He did it in a bath, in a moment of apparent idleness. The unconscious doesn't care about schedules. It awakens when we let it breathe. And here lies another uncomfortable truth. The ambitious, lazy person doesn't need to prove productivity because they understand that ideas aren't hammered out. They're received when the mind is free. That freedom is dangerous because it dismantles the strongest dogma of our culture. That your worth comes from what you produce, not from who you are. Imagine what would happen if more people understood this. If they discovered they could let go of the anxiety of...
Do you want to receive beautiful crystals every month without breaking the bank? I know what you're thinking. It must be too good to be true.
Of always doing, and still generate more impact than any worker of constant effort. The system would collapse. Because an exhausted worker is easy to control, but someone who no longer feels guilty for stopping is impossible to tame. That's why this kind of person is so disconcerting. While most measure their worth by the visibility of their sacrifice, they move like ghosts, invisible, showing nothing, until suddenly they show everything. And what they reveal isn't just another small achievement, but a revelation that transforms the way we think, create, or live. The mystery is that the ambitious, lazy person isn't a slave to urgency, but neither are they a conformist. Their apparent passivity is a disguise. Beneath that calm, something is brewing, something that escapes the logic of linear productivity. And when they decide to act, no one can anticipate it. That unpredictability makes them subversive, a threat to the order precisely because they cannot be captured by it. So ask yourself, what would happen if, instead of keeping on running, you started listening to your own silence? What would happen if, instead of surrendering to external noise, you trusted that your unconscious has more power than you imagine? Because there, in that hidden space you fear so much, lie the seeds of everything that could change your life. Do you want me to keep expanding from here into an even darker and more psychological layer, exploring how guilt over resting has become a mechanism of control as strong as any chain? Guilt, that word that seems harmless but has become the most effective weapon for keeping us chained. No guard is needed, no whip, not even an order. All it takes is for you to feel remorse every time you rest, to feel anxiety every time you don't produce. That inner voice whispering that you're wasting time, that you should be doing more, that others are advancing while you stand still. Where do you think it comes from? It isn't yours. It was implanted. The system perfected this mechanism because it understood something crucial. A person can free themselves from external chains, but if the chains are internal, no jailer is needed. Guilt becomes an invisible executioner that follows you everywhere. And here is where the ambitious, lazy person breaks the pattern. They don't feel guilt. Their rest is non-negotiable. Their pause doesn't need justification. While others punish themselves for not making the most of their time, they trust that time is working for them. And that's the threat. Because if more people stopped feeling guilty, the entire structure of control would crumble. The curious thing is that guilt is disguised as virtue. We're taught to take pride in being exhausted, to boast about not having time, to confuse tiredness with worth. Haven't you noticed? In any conversation?
Because it's like, don't get tired, because if you get tired of working, then you're lazy. The minute that you get tired, you're considered lazy. The minute that you want to stop, you're considered lazy. You're considered, weak-minded. They tell you give up too easily because you don't kiss ass. Because it's like, I saw a comment, right? Because I was watching this one guy's channel, and he was basically talking about how, next month there's might be a world full of chaos because everybody's food stamps is getting cut off. And so in the comment section, somebody has said, well, since that's happening and people are stuck home without pay because they've been getting laid off, you better go get a job and kiss these employers' asses, because you're never going to be able to get government assistance again. That's out the window because the government will remain shut down. So you better go kiss some ass and stay on that job. Don't stop working. So this person who said that is willing to be a slave. They're willing to be a slave. Exactly. Bragging about working until your health declines. Meanwhile, health is wealth. Don't make sense, right? Health is wealth. They say health is wealth. But when you working, they want you to forget about your. See, the devil, man. The devil is in these jobs. He is the system. He is the money. And he want to keep you going. He want to keep your mind going. And stayed off of yourself, stayed off of God. He don't want your mind to say, he don't want you to think and say, I'm going to go and get a checkup because I'm not feeling well. He wants you to keep working and slave for this evil demonic system, because these jobs are also what makes the system. All of this is the system. Everything that you can think of got ties to the system.
Conversation, the one who says they're the busiest seems the most important. It's an absurd theater where exhaustion is paraded as a trophy. And yet, what does that exhaustion actually produce? People who...
Strength training, now at a new level. Gym Monster 2 is an all-in-one design that covers...
who think less, create less, and repeat more. People so tired they never question the game they're trapped in.
They never do.
Here's the disturbing part. The guiltier you feel for resting, the easier you are to manipulate.
Yes. What did I just say about the money? The more that they notice that you have such a weak spot and you will do anything for the money, the easier it is for them to say, okay, come on over and join us.
Guilt drives you to fill your days with empty activities, with projects that mean nothing, with routines that exist only to silence that inner discomfort. Meanwhile, the essential gets buried under tons of noise. The ambitious, lazy person, however, doesn't play that game. They prefer uncomfortable silence over useless busyness. They'd rather face their unconscious than distract themselves with superficial tasks. This goes deeper than it seems, because guilt doesn't just control your time. It controls your identity. If you don't produce, you're nothing. That's the hidden message you've been taught since childhood. But look closely. If your value depends on what you do, then you'll always need to do more to feel like someone.
Okay.
It's never enough.
So,
Never
I believe I have this one posted to my wall, so y'all can actually go check that out. I posted it to my wall. It is by Psychotic. You can listen to the rest of it because we got to move on to the next video. That one was called The Ambitious Lazy One Who Threatens the Whole System. Now, the next video that we are going to do is I'm gonna show y'all the rest of well, it depends on how much it is, how many minutes it is. So the videos that we were watching yesterday, I never finished the rest of it. So we're gonna do 10 minutes of that one too. It's called Employed and Broke. Everyone is living paycheck to paycheck. So
Welcome back to the show. I'm
we
your
gotta-
host, Eren Boy. So,
let me
is it?
see. All right. Got past her. Okay. Right. So the name of this video is called Employed and Broke, and it is by Tellin Boy 2.0. Shout out to him. You know, these are clips of people who are talking about how they are employed and broke and struggling still. And basically the reason why I'm showing this is because, okay, let me show y'all this picture. I just want y'all to keep this in mind. You know what I mean? So this picture right here, this picture right here is exactly why I want to show y'all these videos of people talking about how they are employed and broke. And I understand that things are expensive out here, but a lot of people, you know, they get so tied up into the money though. They get so, you know, depressed and angry and bitter and, you know, anything you could think of that's negative because of this right here. Their God, they believe their God is powerful. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And that's why I want to show these videos. Let's see what people got to say about being employed and broke. Because a lot of people, it's the fact that they lose their passion and they focus on the money too much. Some people actually have to take on jobs to be able to pay their bills and keep their bills paid. Because like I said, money is a tool. But also, they get too tied into the money as well. Some people just got jobs and they don't have a passion for what they do. They just needed a job to keep their bills paid. But the thing is, we understand that we need to pay bills. We understand that we need to get a car to get around and get clothes and stuff like that. That's the whole thing. In a nutshell, money is supposed to be used as a tool, not for you to fall in love with it. So let's look at what these people have to say.
I tutor after school. I just got through with one of my tutoring sessions, actually, and I also make content. I have one full-time job with full benefits and then 2 part-time / contract jobs, and I am still struggling. The solution is not to get a 4th job. There's something wrong with this world. Something has got to give to where we live in a world where people can work multiple jobs and they're still struggling. What does that say? Like the solution.
And it took, let me remind y'all that it took for, you know, all of these things to start happening back to back to back to, and you know, the tariffs, you know, inflation, all of that. It took for prices to rise to the point where people had to literally snap out of it and say, hold up, wait a minute. This is just too expensive. And it then got you to the point where either you're going to decide on whether you want to remain a slave or whether you are ready to give up being a slave and exit the system and exit the matrix. But you got a lot of people that would prefer to remain in the matrix. And as a matter of fact, they make you go so deep into the matrix. It's to the point that now you have 5 jobs. Now you are you are a slave and you proud.
Solution isn't you need another job or you're just lazy and you don't want to work. We're working multiple jobs.
So you're worried about people saying, oh, you're just lazy and you don't want to work.
What more do we have to do in order to live comfortably in this world?
It should be illegal to have jobs where you're working 30 or something.
To be able to, first of all, let me respond to the woman before her. What more do you have to do to be able to live comfortably in this world? Pray. Pray. Because when you don't, then you're allowing the universe, the people around you, the society, what's going on to torment you, to make you miserable. But it's not making you miserable. You're making yourself miserable.
Sometimes 40 hours a week and you still can't afford to pay your bills or you still can't afford to have your own place. There is no reason that I'm working over 30 hours and I still can't afford to have my own place. I still can't afford most of my expenses. And then people telling you when you're making minimum wage to just love your job and love what you do and come and put the extra effort, but you're making so little and like you're...
There we go. Walla boom, bada bam. It's about the money. You got people are telling her to love what you do. I don't know what type of work she do. You know what I'm saying? But love what you do. Have a passion for what you do. She's falling into the money. There you go. You said they are paying Black women less than most other cultures of women. Not sure if that changed, but I learned that in my reaction. Yes. You know, but see, now it got to a point where if you do worse, you get bonuses. So there's a lot of Black people that work in these systems that have these jobs that are intentionally doing the wrong thing every day so they can get those bonuses. They cannot afford to be underpaid, or they cannot afford to for a white woman who works next to her to get paid more than her. And she's doing the right thing. She getting paid more, but it's like, I'm Black, I'm getting underpaid. I need to do the wrong thing so I can get this bonus. And that's what they do.
Struggling to pay your bills on time. The debt is stacking up. You have to have living situations that are not favorable because
y'all have no faith. And I don't know if she believes in God, but y'all literally have no faith. They be so worried and concerned and in fear at the fact that if they can't pay their bills, this, that, and the third is going to happen immediately. It takes time for stuff to happen, you know. But see, the thing is, y'all are in a rush. You so in a hurry, you so in a rush. And then when you get there, you're disappointed. It's the journey, not the destination.
Again, you have such little money. It's just like the cycle of poverty is so hard to break out of for this reason. And people are always telling me, well, it's because you work retail and like you don't need a lot of skill to work retail and that's why you make the amount you do. Well, I don't want to do retail. I want to get into entertainment, maybe PR, maybe be an influencer, but that's the dream. That's not reality. Isn't that...
Man. So you don't want to do retail, but you forcing yourself to get up every single day of your life and do it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're doing something that you dreamed of doing, why don't you just do that instead? But see, she's afraid to lose everything. She's not going to put herself in the wilderness. Because if you want to, you know, grow on your own, and if this is my thing, you just said you don't want to do retail. So why are you forcing yourself to get up every day to go to a job that you hate so much? And then you complain about the amount of money that you're making from the job that you hate to do. Then you said that, you know, you do something else, but that's the dream. So if it's the dream, then why are we not believing in ourselves then? Sometimes you got to start from the bottom, real talk, and work your way up. Especially if you have a passion for something. But people don't want to regularly live their lives. They want to live their lives according to the system. And I know a lot of people don't like what I'm saying because they probably are thinking about the money. Mind is on the money. They feel like, well, you're basically telling us not to pay our bills. I'm not. But why get up and go to a job that you hate though? That you hate, and you're just going for the money. You see what I'm saying? You got to understand that you start to grow a love for money instead of what you do. And not even just that, but you're supposed to use the money as a tool, not focus so hard on it to the point where you get angry when you don't get enough. You know, you feel down when you didn't get a check. You feel, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are letting the money make you. You said it is not. You said they don't believe in God. Struggling isn't for the regain of money. It's to build character. Exactly. It is to build character. Struggling, but people don't want to go through the struggle, bro. They don't want to experience that. That's why they would do whatever it is that they have to do to be able to keep a few dollars in their pocket. They can never go without. Never. And that's the problem with society. This is exactly why you have a world full of finna get ready and be chaos, because a lot of people are about to experience the struggle. I actually did a video on that. People are finna experience the struggle like no other. And they already experiencing it and they can't take it.
Little money rant for the day, if anyone cares to listen. So I made a video the other day talking about how I make 107, or I made 107 last year. I'm honestly probably going to make more this year. And I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I'm still in a ton of debt. My bank account still goes into the negative sometimes. And people in the comments were just flabbergasted. They could not fathom the fact that I have an income like that and still live the way I do. Granted, we do live in Massachusetts. Cost of living is very high. But someone else commented saying that everybody in my comments were in the poverty mindset. And honestly, I do agree with that. Like, I see the people at my work, the CNAs and stuff, working doubles constantly because that's, in their mind, that's really their only option, is just to like continue to answer to the man.
Creating custom clothing labels with Tapstitch is easy.
So guys, what I'm really
branding
trying to
tab,
do
choose
is
your
let the
label size and
videos
background,
run
upload
through,
your artwork,
and
submit
I'm
for
trying to
review, and
reduce the amount of pausing that I do. You know.
And I refuse to live like that. I want to give my daughter a good life. I feel bad for her. She can't have like normal play dates and sleepovers because there's nowhere for her to go, for them to...
I'm sorry, now I have to pause right there. So your daughter can't have normal sleepovers and play dates. See, you see how people just worry about unnecessary stuff? She can't have sleepovers and play dates. Why? Because you don't have money to do things for the kids that come over, or whatever the case may be. You need money. Man.
play. There's just no space and we're growing out of our house. But the mindset shouldn't be, oh, budget your money. Don't go out to eat once a month. Don't get your nails done. That shouldn't be the mindset. The mindset should be, there are ways to make more money, especially.
Oh, there we go. Voila. Buddha, bye, bada, boo, bada, bam. There you go. You see how people are willing to continue to slave through this. She has a 6-figure income. She is so... people like this be so ungrateful. I'm not going to lie to you. Because you got to think about it. If you struggling that hard, like I said the other day, you live in paycheck to paycheck, I am sure that it is things in your home of value that you can definitely sell and get some money off of if you are that desperate for money. You sitting up here willing to go figure out other ways to make more money living off of a six-figure income. Then you sitting up here talking about, oh yeah, well, my daughter, she's not gonna have normal play dates. And she said that she don't want people to tell her to stop spending her money on getting nails and hair done and going out to eat. She don't want people to tell her that. She want people to tell her, go find other ways to make money. But you want to know why? Because she loves being a slave to the system. She loves it. And that is the real truth. She is ungrateful. Exactly. Making 107,000. She crazy as hell. Ain't no way I'm about to go find another way to make some money. I got enough. See, people, you see how the eye of providence is, their God is very powerful to weak-minded people. You feel me? Weak-minded people. I'm not about to get up off of my behind while making a six-figure income and go figure out how to make more money. No. I'm going to work with what I got. I'm going to downsize if I got to. I'm going to start selling stuff if I got to, while still working my job, getting a six-figure income. Y'all be so ungrateful, man. I'm so ungrateful. What dude say? He said they got a job. They work Monday through Friday. They working 40 to 60 hours. They off on Saturday, off on Sunday. They just so angry, always bitter, ungrateful. They unholy. Come on, man. This is exactly what he talking about. Man.
Nowadays, it's wicked hard to live as a millennial because of just the time that we were born and the housing situation and how expensive everything is. But we can get out of this. This is why I started making TikToks. And the goal is to hopefully be making money.
She sold her soul. She sold her soul for that six-figure income. She sold her soul. Because she ready to make more money. She need more money. See what I'm saying? This is just, man.
I like Christmas.
Like Christmas.
Yeah, I'm grateful for everything I have because I've lived in awful situations before, and this is like a fucking cakewalk compared to, the way.
Ma'am, you sound like a walking contradiction. For real. You saying that it's a cakewalk now, but you saying that you live in paycheck to paycheck on a six-figure income and you need to find different ways to make more money.
I've lived prior, but there just has to be more to life than working day in and day out.
It got to be more to life than working day in and day out, but you're willing to go find other work to go, you know what I'm saying? You willing to go figure out other ways to make money. Now, we all know that, if you want more money rolling in, then you're going to need a second job, which requires a second income. If you want consistent money rolling in. Unless, you decide that you want to become a content creator, but that takes time. But the thing is, the whole thing in a nutshell, you're worried about the money, though.
It's so sad. And so many people out there don't think any other way.
They don't think any other way because they don't think like her. You see what I'm saying?
But you've always been like that.
Just crazy.
Before you hear me.
She said they don't think no other way. You want to know why? Because they don't think like her. You have to think like her. You have to be willing to get out here, get off your behind, and make more money. What do you mean? I can't be able to go get my hair done and go get facials and stuff. Yes, I can. I just have to go make more money. I have to figure out different ways. You know what I mean? Like, people, man. People. It's the people. The people are, like I said, what makes the system. And y'all are really helping them. The more that you are willing to be a slave, the more you're helping them. Let's listen to this lady.
Much more expensive thing.
Of to work, because it's just not enough to raise kids in this economy, especially if you got more than one kid.
I'm going to explain to you guys how much more expensive things are today than they were even 3 years ago based off of my current financial situation. So 4 years ago, when I graduated law school, I graduated making $65,000 a year. I was living in a 1-bedroom by myself, paying $1,400 a month. After the first 3 months, my boyfriend moved in, and so then we were splitting it, so it was $700 apiece. But he lost his job at one point, and so for 3 months before he got a new one, I was covering the rent all by myself. So it was about 6 months of me paying $1,400 a month for that year-long lease. Now I make about $85,000 a year. I have 2 roommates, and we split the rent 3 ways. And usually my rent is like $950, something around that. So I'm making technically $20,000 more a year. I'm paying roughly the same of what I was paying in rent, and I have never been more stressed out about money in my entire life.
Okay, am I the only?
She is stressed out about money. Let me know if y'all can hear that, because I have to set the phone down a little bit. So put a 1 if you guys can hear the videos clearly. Make sure y'all put a 1 in there if you heard that video of her clearly. Okay, cool. All right. All right, cool. Good. Okay. So, she just basically admitted that she's stressed out daily about money. There you go. Y'all see what you see where we getting at though, right? See what we getting at. People don't even realize that they have sold their souls for money. Sold their souls to the system, sold their souls to their jobs for money. To the point where they are willing to become slaves to the system even more. So basically what this is revealing to me is the fact that, all of this that's going on in the world, how people are getting laid off, losing their jobs, people are unemployed and broke. It's at this point, it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to become a slave to the system to the point where you fall in love? Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to seek employment and find you a job so that you can be able to pay, your bills. But see, the thing is, people get so deep into it, this is why we call it satanic employment. They get so deep into it because they love the money. It's the money that they love, not the job. You see how it is so easy to fall weak to money, to the eye of providence. Yeah.
Someone that feels like no matter how hard you work, it's never enough. Like, you get paid on Friday, and then by Monday, poof, it's gone. Bills, gas, groceries, pumpkin for his school,
you had to.
It's not that big of a deal, but there's so many little things. Oh, school lunches, we have to pay for them now. I do not. I allow only on Fridays because that's the kids' treats. But that is expensive for a freaking and we feed our prisoners for free basically. So explain that to me. Am I the only one who's tired of pretending that everything's fine? And
I've been with my partner for 20 years this year. And let me tell you, relationships
the thing is,
even as a therapist, I've learned that
the biggest thing is it took people this long to wake up and smell the coffee. The same people that call everything a conspiracy are the same people that's waking up because everything is becoming so expensive. Because see, when you go up on prices and you go up on rent and you go up on this and you go up on that, then at this point, you're going to make people open their eyes, and they're going to willingly let you know. See, this is exactly what's being revealed in 2025. People are about to let you know if they are on the side of the devil or on the side of God. Real talk. Why did I say that? Well, it all started with the Charlie Kirk situation, right? In which we have found that people are okay with being very cold at the heart and evil. And why did I say that? Because they were mocking his death. That's all. This is, you know what? This is just revealing to us good versus evil, okay? Good versus evil in 2025. See, we starting to see that people are just blatantly evil. They're willing to sell their souls for money, sell their souls to their job for money. You know, they need bonuses. They need to figure out what it is that they can do to get more money. Like I said, it's not the fact that they're using it as a tool. It's the fact that they have fell in love deeply with it. To the point where they worry about this. They worry about that. They got to do this. They got to do that.
I'm tired of smiling at work while stressing out in my head, trying to figure out how I'm going to stretch these bills. They don't even go that far. They're not even supposed to go that far, but I got to figure it out. Am I the only one who's just exhausted? I'm not lazy and I'm not ungrateful.
Everybody keeps saying the same thing. You want to know why? Because we live in a world where people have become so accustomed to social media that they do everything for validation. They are afraid of what people that they don't even know is going to think of them. They are afraid for people to call them lazy. They are afraid because they have, these demonic soul ties to the system. And they just don't want nobody to look at them like, oh, you give up too easily. Oh, you're so weak. Oh, you're so lazy. They too worried about their image. That's the thing.
Really not. I'm just tired of constantly struggling, constantly of living paycheck to paycheck.
Well, imagine how us black people that was born and raised up on the struggle. Imagine how we felt having to be born and raised up on the struggle. Real talk. Imagine how it feels to be a person where you was just born, you had to be raised into the struggle. A lot of people was fed with a silver spoon. And they've never had to experience, and a lot of people don't like when that is said like that. They don't like it. See, in America, it is not about what you say, it's how you say it. Let's be 100. People are so damn sensitive that they can't handle anything that's being said. Like I said, a lot of people were fed with a silver spoon in their mouth. So they don't know what it feels like to have to struggle. They've never came from that side. They don't even know what that is. What do you mean struggle? I've never wanted to struggle. I worked too hard to get where I'm at to be able to struggle. What did dude say in that video? He said they all in a rush. They all in a rush. And they in a rush to get there. And when they get there, they get disappointed. Instead of waiting, instead of being patient. See, y'all live y'all lives so much off of validation that when you graduate high school, the only reason why you go to college and you get a career is because you want people to acknowledge you. You want instant gratification from the world. You want the world to, basically say, oh, this is a great person because they graduated and they got their degree and now they have a career. Now that you got that career that you so badly wanted because of how much you were gonna make yearly, you was chasing a paycheck. That's the thing. You were chasing the paycheck. You was chasing the money. And you had to keep up with it. Because if you lose sight of it, if you let it go, then you're going to be at your lowest according to people because you're so worried about what everybody else got to say. You're afraid that they're going to tell you you're at your lowest, you're lazy, you're weak, you give up too easily. Man, you say when they get there, they would be more discouraged than they were before they made it. Exactly. Exactly.
Like, I usually get my nails done. That's my treat. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, but I'm going to press on. These are press on. No, I do not.
Why does she need validation so much? She like, and I'm not saying this in a negative way. Who said that you was gonna say it in a negative way? You feel me? It's like she just keep, she's doing things and saying things. I mean, she's saying these things and worried about what people has to say about her when she's saying the things.
Live luxurious. I don't. My car, I'm sitting in my car right now, and the AC went out, and it's going to cost me money. And guess what? I don't have it. I have to look to either bills or a car. What do you think I'm going to choose? I'm literally on my way, yes, in this t-shirt, no judgment, to a second job.
Girl, what is you talking to you? Oh my gosh. You need to love yourself more. That's what it is. You seek validation so much that now you talking about your t-shirt. Don't judge you for your t-shirt. Listen, when I get on live and I put on a sweater or a shirt or whatever, it's because that's what I want to wear. I don't care what nobody got to say about my shirt, bro. You talking about in this shirt, no judgment. Are you even concerned about what you're talking about, or are you even just talking about it because it's trending? See, now the fact that you do everything for validation and you don't really love yourself, it's like, it makes me wonder, are you just talking because it's a trend to talk about it? Because you too worried about your shirt. You worried about if people saying that you getting your nails done is a negative, like, man.
I'm going to try to get, because I have to. I have to work like that. Am I the only one? I mean, please tell me I'm not the only one. I don't know how to do this anymore. I'm so tired and exhausted of living paycheck to paycheck.
At least you have an income. At least you have an income, bruh. We living in some struggling times, and you got to make some sacrifices, and you got to figure out how you're going to make it work. Like I said, you got to downsize. You got to start buying things the cheap way. Stop getting all this expensive, unnecessary stuff. A lot of y'all just got a spending habit. That's the truth. A lot of y'all have an addiction to spending. The world does. And that's why they complain so much.
I try to budget. I don't have any money, any extra to save. Am I the only one?
See, according to Go Back
Girl,
grades,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if you care or not. Because from the looks of it, it just look like you look like you're just online just because everybody else is doing it. And then you're also feeling a little bit of the effects, of what's going on. So that was the end of this video anyway. The video that I just played. So now the video that we are going to play, because we actually have a few more minutes left. Let's see. Because a lot of people are going to be stunned by this. And the name of this video, the name of this video is called The Truth About Child Protective Services. And this is going to expose what they really do when they work in these systems and how they will ruin families all for the love of money. This is why the reason why a lot of these people, like I said, that work in these systems are very miserable. It is because they owe the devil. They have a debt to pay. See, he gave them everything they wanted. He gave them that seat. He gave them the ability to be in control, the ability to have power and control. And now you owe him. And what do you owe him? You owe him that evil side of you. You need to be able to continue to do the bad things that you do, to continue to come after a family that loves their children, to continue to paint a narrative of biological parents that is not true, because you need the biological parents to fit your evil, wicked stereotypes, your sick stereotypes. And you need them to do that. You need to be able to make sure they fit those stereotypes so that you can keep the money rolling in, so that you can get the bonuses. Because even if it means that their case has to go as far as it goes, as to where they never get their kids back, at least you made the money off of it. At least you're able to keep your bills paid, right? Right, exactly. So a lot of y'all that work in this system on this side sold your souls to the devil when you continue to do bad things, evil things, when you continue to harass and stalk biological parents and cyber stalk them on social media and worry about what they're doing, what they're talking about. You want to be able to control their mouths, control their brains, because you need to be able to continue to keep the money rolling in. And on top of that, you're in debt with the devil. Your time is up. And you know your time is up when it starts getting harder for you to dig beneath the surface and look at the biological parents under a microscope, because then you start figuring out any little thing you could think of it, any little thing you could think of. Now you're just making up unnecessary things because you have nothing left. And unfortunately, your time is up. But now you're willing to go as far as showing my time ain't up, because watch what I'm about to do. Yeah, because you know that is the easiest thing for you to do so that you can be able to get that big bonus. And that means putting the kids up for sale, putting them up for adoption, making them go to another family, because you believe in your mind that these biological parents are unfit and not fit to be able to parent. But the truth is, they actually are fit. It's just that you got to stop. It's like you got to stop, having the heart to be able to say, you know what, this is wrong. Your heart turns cold at this point, because you have to make it turn cold. You gotta be evil in order to get that bonus. For the love of money is the root of all evil. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
It is a big, ugly, awful, incredible story that people don't know what to do with that. Bottom line.
The court abducted my child without any ground. I have the clean record. I am a licensed nurse. I take care of people, make sure my patient get well. I do teaching. I am a
Evidence was
good mother.
presented to change custody. There was no reason for them to change custody. There was nothing presented that would even carry any weight to change. The only thing you want to do is protect your children. And this legal system now has put me in a place where I have no power.
That's because the system is the devil. The eye of providence is in tune with these systems heavily. Real talk. And they have to do whatever it is This is exactly why I call them the mafia. They are the mafia. And it is so difficult to be able to get your kids back because the mafia has them. And the mafia believes that they are a very strong and powerful gang. Real talk. They got all the money on their side. They got millions and billions of dollars because they got all of these different agencies that's in on it with them. You got the hospitals, the schools, the doctor's offices, the police stations, the fire stations. You got the Department of Human Services. I mean, you name it. The list goes on. They are all tied to this very corrupt system called CPS or DCFS or DSS, whatever you call it in your state. That is a very, very evil, powerful system. Once your kids get in that system, it is hard for them to get up out of there because they are under control by a mafia. And everybody involved is a part of the mafia, especially if they continue to do bad things. I'm not talking about the people that work in the system on that side that do good things, that actually does help unite families. And don't think just because you united a family or two, you're doing an amazing thing. Because at the end of the day, when you don't consistently do that, you are not doing an amazing thing. When you are finding different reasons to keep, oppressing these families and keeping these children away from their parents, you are doing a horrible thing.
They put the power in the hands of the psychologist, the kid's attorney, the evaluator, essentially trying to take me completely
I ran to court with the idea that we were going to bring two sides before a judge and they were going to come up with a reasonable conclusion to whatever, or the issue at hand. And I found out that it was 180 degrees from
the court mediator failed to follow the local rules and the law. She broke every single rule in the book. She doesn't read the file. She doesn't read the pleading. She doesn't know what the history of,
I would say we're seeing an emergency here. When these children are being damaged, they're treating like throwaway kids. They're disposable. Their welfare is disregarded.
Who you know and how much money you have. It doesn't have anything to do with the law. It doesn't have anything to do with justice.
Financial.
It doesn't have anything to do with the law, and it doesn't have anything to do with justice. And that's what a lot of these people out here need to understand. When DCFS or when CPS comes to your door, they are a part of the mafia, bro. They are a part of the mafia. These court systems are a part of the mafia. These foster care agencies are a part of the mafia. These foster parents are a part of the mafia. And the list goes on. You got doctors, therapists, psychiatrists. I mean, you name it. They are a part of this evil scheme to be able to get money. It is about money, and it is about power and control, and it is actually about, their emotions as well and the way that they feel about you. And they force themselves to feel a way about you, even though they don't know you, because they need to continue to paint a narrative of you so that they can continue to get their paycheck. That's all it's about. They force themselves to hate you, even though they don't know you. And the hamster wheel continues, exactly. And the cycle continues on and on and on and on. And the hate continues. That's why you got these people that are actually telling their stories. They're letting you know, like, hey, I was dealing with this situation for 17 years. And then they finally decided to adopt my child out after I did everything that they asked me to do. They continue to paint a narrative, which is the biological parent is a bad parent, and they cannot parent their child. They are unfit to parent their child. That's why they hire these little third parties, these private agencies and these other third parties to work for them under the table, which is these therapists, which is these psychiatrists, which is these mental health evaluators, these people that do mental health evaluations, and the list goes on. Yes, I am exposing y'all. And I know that y'all are probably lost for words right now, but you need to come to terms with what you do. And the whole world needs to know what you do. And they need to know that you're doing dirty deeds for money, that you have sold your soul for money. This is exactly why they don't care about us. They don't care about our family. They want to continue to keep us separated. Y'all don't got to understand, man. The people out there that really believe that CPS is good people and they're coming to help, they're not. They are a mafia who are coming to steal your children. And to be honest, the people that they really come after are the parents that is willing to let them in their house. The parents that is willing to say, hey, I'll complete services to show you that I love my child. You know, when they see that you have a weak spot and love for your child, that is exactly when they feel like they have their target. Bam. Okay, so now we know that you got a weak spot for your child and you willing to do whatever it is, then we can actually, this is easy money for us. This is easy money. But see, when the devil comes across the devil, they know it ain't going to be easy. The devil knows that it ain't going to be easy. Real talk. You said people always ask about your story. Well, here it goes. Corruption for almost years. Yeah. Corruption for almost 7 years, bro. Imagine 7 years of dealing with child protective services just to find out within the first year of dealing with them how corrupt they really were. The rabbit hole goes deep. Look at all of these families. You got families of different ethnicities that are talking about how they have, had to experience this from the system, this evil that they're doing. There's keep separating the children away from their parents, keeping the children away from their parents for years, and just to adopt the kids out. They make the parents do all of these services for nothing, when the whole time their true intentions is to adopt the kids out anyway, because they need that money. You said it's not about what you can do. It's about how much they can test you to play it off so that they can get their paper. Exactly. R.I.P. Nancy Schaefer. She exposed the system as well. And I'm talking CPS. These are nothing but a bunch of money-hungry, money-hungry vultures that love money and will do anything for it.
Incentives are to keep these situations going. There's no financial incentive to settle the case. The evaluators make a ton of money. The attorneys for the minor and the family court attorneys are guaranteed payment for, if the child's 3 years old, for the next 15 years. Because they never settle these
cases. If a child is placed in unsupervised visitation or full custody with the person that they've identified as the perpetrator of abuse, you know instantly that their protective parent is never going to just walk away and stop fighting in the family. They'll appoint an evaluator. And first it will go to court mediation. If there's enough money, they'll recommend private mediation. Typically, they'll appoint a parenting coordinator, a parenting coach, a therapist for each family member. And the amounts that these people can charge are not regulated at all.
And that's exactly what they're doing to us. You feel me? They have appointed us all these different therapists, and they just want to keep it going. They got to keep the case open so they can keep the money rolling in. Man, I can only imagine how much money they make off of our kids. Sick, just evil and sick. You said it says they view our children as a meal ticket. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of money hungry vultures. They owe, you know what I'm saying? They have a debt to pay. You know what I'm saying? Horny, creepy parent coaches that want sugar daddies. These folks be wild. Yeah. Because a lot of these therapists, they need therapy them damn selves. They are not even qualified to do this. Real talk. It's easy to get into this system because all you got to do is pretty much sell your soul and let them know like, hey, yes, I am willing to continue to separate families. That's why they be having people working under the table for them and posing as therapists and all type of stuff. This is all a scheme, a money scheme. It says the number of children taken into state custody each year will be the number sufficient to generate the federal fund claims to necessary to balance the agency payroll. Come on, man. It says the net result is a system in which everyone stays employed only if the number of founded child abuse cases and children taken into state custody always increases and never decreases. See, they have to keep the money rolling in. So they got to keep snatching children out of their homes, out of the hospitals, out of the doctor's offices, the schools, from other relatives, and the list goes on. They got to keep snatching up kids and throwing them in the system because this is child trafficking at its finest. Real talk.
And that's not how this is. That mediator ends up deciding it.
Okay, hold on.
And the real problem is
we're gonna do a couple more minutes, like 2 more minutes, and then we're pretty much
that
done.
mediator ends up deciding your case. And that's not how the system is supposed to work. And so when the mediator decides your case, whoever loses is, quote, disgruntled, and they should be not because of the outcome, but because they never got mediators in Marin County who flat out lied in their reports and have been caught at it by the appellate court, and the trial courts have been reversed.
Across the United States, they say that each state has its judge, individual rogue judge, or its individual rogue court, or the whole court system is a mess, does not protect children. So it's a national and an international.
Hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars statewide off of the whole family law machine. They want the court to make those orders because those orders are what get them paid, and it's
money.
the reason.
That's money buying something we label as truth and justice, where it's not money buying truth or justice. It's money buying, in some cases, lies.
Yep.
Really damaging lies with long-term
No one will fix it until the people who are making policy decide to fix it. And they're not going to decide to fix it until pressure is brought to bear on them to fix it.
Yep.
And that pressure has to come from the public. It has to come from the press. It has to come from our elected officials. It has to come from the oversight entities. It has to come from law enforcement. That's responsible government. That's the duty of our elected officials to make sure that the citizens are...
Congress is going to eventually have to come to grips with the fact that this is a national problem.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Congress, it says you might not be affected right now, but what if it happened tomorrow? What would you do? I'm telling y'all, bro, you do not want this to happen to you or your children. Because I've been fighting it and dealing with it for about to be 7 years. And I pray that it don't go on 7 years and my children can be back home, But the thing is, what if it happened to you? People so quick to judge, and y'all don't even know that the rabbit hole runs deep. This is the truth. This is the truth about CPS. It's all about the coins. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. And when it comes down to the whole entire system, it's about the coins and it's about the Benjamins. And they will literally keep the lies going year after year after year. Even when that person that was in that spot quits their job, the devil recruits another person that has demons inside of them and that loves money. And that'll make it easier. Their job is easier. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's about time that y'all get exposed. You know what I mean? The fact that you guys have a very strong obsession with watching and monitoring families online and cyber stalking them is very sick. Why don't you go find a hobby, find something to do, because I am not something to do. You don't get to sit and, look at me under a microscope because of you wanting and needing more money. You don't even understand. The system that you work for is actually using you. Because when you do the job that they need you to do, they're going to get majority of the bonus. And they're going to slap you with a little something. But they're using you. And they're turning you into a gang stalker, a cyber stalker, a creepy weirdo. You might feel like you're normal, but you're not. Because you're filled with hate, you filled with envy, and you filled yourself up with actual lies, You believe your own lies. You believe that bio parents are threats, and they're not. I just want to, let me expose this real quick before we get off of here. And it's not a video. This is just something I was about to research. So bear with me. And I do want to let y'all know, like, a lot of these judges and stuff like that, they be going through stuff at home. Some of them things with their wives, and some of them be on child support. Seriously, these judges, they can't take what they're going through at home, in their own life. So they use them having a bad day to abuse their power, because abusing their power is actually a lot more easier for them anyway, because the more bad things they do, the more they keep the money rolling in. It's all about the money. It's never about justice. Like she said, it's not about justice, and it's not about the law. It's about the money. And it's about the eye of providence. That's their God. That is their idol. So, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to. Okay. So, if some of y'all are wondering, I wonder how Child Protective Services was created. Well, here's the information you need. Child Protective Services was not created by a single person, but evolved through the efforts of many individuals and organizations. The New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, Count Y'all Days, New York, founded in 1874, was the world's first organization solely dedicated to child protection, with figures like Elbridge Thomas Gary being a co-founder. The modern government-based system has its roots in the 1909 White House Conference on the Care of Dependent Children and the subsequent 1912 creation of the U.S. Children's Bureau. The New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, founded in 1874, is considered the world's first child protective agency. The U.S. Children's Bureau, established in 1912 by President William Howard Taft, was the first federal agency dedicated to child welfare. This came after the 1909 White House Conference, where experts recommended that children removed from their homes be placed with families and not institutions. But to be honest, if you ask me, when you place them with different families, they're actually institutionalizing the children. The children are institutionalized because they're treated like crap. They're treated with they're hated by adults that's supposed to care for them, because these adults hate their mothers and fathers, their real moms and dads. Come on now. So what makes you really think that you're doing my child a favor? If you dislike me, sweetheart, you dislike my child as well. And I don't believe that you're fit to be around my children, because that's a lot of damn hate. Real talk. You can't tell me that you have any respect for a child if you don't respect their parents. The modern government-sponsored Child Protective Services system was formalized in the mid-20th century with the key legislation like the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act of 1974, providing a framework for states. Okay? So, it looks like, let's see, it pretty much really was established all the way prevention to children in 1874. So this has been going on for many years. Since 1874. Let's fast forward to 2025. Look at what they're doing now. Wow. Man. Well, we about to get up out of here. So we are going to play our little ending song as we going up out of here. I just wanted to expose the evil things that they do and why they are so deeply obsessed with bio parents fitting their disgusting stereotypes. You know, just because I am black does not mean that I am an angry black woman, but I don't have to prove myself to you, because you're the one that has proving to do. You the one that love money, not me. I don't got to prove myself to you, but I prove myself to my children because I love my children. But when my hands is tied because of the evil, wicked system, then, hey, I still love my kids, though. I still do. And at the end of the day, you can say what you want about me. You can say what you want about my husband. But yeah, we are amazing parents, and can't nobody take that away from us, period. See, the thing is, these people, they want to be in control. You know, they want to be in control so bad. That's why they try to strip parents of their rights, and they terminate the parents' rights. But see, you terminated the parents' rights on paper, but guess what? God ain't terminate our rights. You know what I'm saying? God ain't terminating y'all. Y'all got to understand something. To all my parents, this is dedicated to all my parents out there that feel like, man, you know, I did everything I could, man. Look, you did. At the end of the day, this is a mafia. And they are going to have to answer to the Most High God. That's who they going to have to answer to. All this evil stuff that they doing, oh, trust me, it's going to catch up to them. Don't worry. You just do right. Keep living your life. Do the right thing. You know you do it. God sees that you're doing the right thing. And trust and believe that when you continue to do right, and you continue to believe in God, read scriptures, pray, and pray hard, you will be united with your child. And at the end of the day, guess what? That child know who you are. They know that you their parent. They can't take that away from you, though. They can write it down on paper and say parental rights terminated all they want for the love of money, but God ain't terminate your rights because you still a parent. Don't never forget that. These court systems are a bunch of kangaroo court systems. Real talk. Bunch of kangaroo courts. They have no say so. God does. See, people, They want to try to continue to test me and my husband by doing the things that they do, saying the things that they say. They're really upset and angry because we have, you know, pretty much exposed the things that they do, and they don't like that. And the fact that they don't like that, it makes them gain enough strength to continue to hate us. You know, they hate us because we're doing the right thing. They hate us, you know, because we won't give up. The thing is, they need us to give up. Because when we give up, we're making it easier for them. But when we don't give up, we're making it harder for them. But see, now they about to cheat their way through. They got to cheat their way to the money. So the best way to cheat their way to the money is to do the wrong thing. This is exactly why they adopt the children out. Because they adopt the children out of hate for the parents for continuing to do the right thing. So even when you do the right thing as a parent, technically you're doing the wrong thing to them in their eyes because they needed you to give up. They needed you to give up. But y'all, it was nice chatting with y'all today. Stay tuned for more content because we're about to continue to expose this evil, wicked world that we live in. Y'all, wake them folks up.